This is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 2. Point is verse 11. And it reads, "Least Satan shouldn't get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." When you go into this word devices, it's G3540. No ama. No ama. This is a perception of his purpose or implication in the intellect, disposition itself, device, mind, thought. So, idea, a plan, a thought. You know, at least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, because the Most High tells you, basically. Well, let me get it. This is the book of Amos. Bear with me, Baba Kashah. Amos chapter 3 and verse 7. And it reads, "Surely the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets." So the Lord's prophets, will be aware of the devices of, Satan, Shantan, who on the physical planet or his physical counterpart is this red Hebrew Edomite who you call the so-called white man. You know, scriptures talk about how. Let me get that book of Isaiah, chapter 42, verse 9, and it reads, "Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them." And who does the Lord tell of these things to come to pass? His prophets. The book of Luke, chapter the book of Luke, chapter 1, verse 70, and it reads, "As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began." The Lord has always used, those men that he deemed as prophets. When you go into prophets, the word prophecy, pro meaning before, facade meaning to say. It also tells you in the scriptures these men were called seers before they were called prophets. Because, when you go into the scriptures, you have to have the spiritual eye salve, the vision to see these things, and those men that do the work, I hope I'm of the number of the hopeful elect. We consider ourselves the hopeful elect. You know, we see these things taking place. Which is the destruction of this wicked ass kingdom known as Babylon the Great, aka America, and basically the resurrection of our kingdom, but this kingdom of Yasharallah will be a everlasting kingdom, because Israel won't go off anymore. Scriptures tell you sin is as death. So through sin we die, but when we aren't sinning, we're gonna live forever. So Salakia for the rambling, but I want to start off by giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to call Loyam La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kodesh B'Katham. Say double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone who teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. I say shalom to the Akwat as well as the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord, willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, with whom subscribe to this truth. To you, I say shalom. This is your brother Yahweh Sop out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, and I'm coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shem Shai. Basically, I came across this article. Through the Spirit, I was going to do a video on something else, but just popped up on my Newsbreak app, caught my attention because I've been going into job losses. I recently just lost my job, and then recently the Lord just blessed me with another one called Loyim Layah Watching Out Shot. So, but it's spiritual because pretty soon ain't nobody gonna be working, because of this, the AI, BT to cut 55,000 jobs with up to a fifth replaced by AI. So, although this is in, you know, the UK, this is going to affect the whole world because, that fourth industrial revolution, is basically artificial intelligence, basically in control of a lot of in control of, everyday functions on a majority of everyday functions. You got AI that basically can drive cars, semis, Tesla, AI. Hell, they had the AI robots. The robots basically doing the I forgot where. I think it was at like the airport or something. But basically, because it was a brother had uploaded it. Basically, the robot was moving, picking up packages and placing them, picking up packages, placing them, and then it was like the robot self destructed. Like this is a bullshit ass, you know. You know how a human being, could basically self destruct because of the fact that he has a mediocre job or he's not doing anything fulfilling with itself or his life. That's how it looked with the with the robot. But saying all that to say this, if they can replace general labor with robotics and you know we just so many different things and different aspects. Robot, they were showing how you got a they came out with the first all AI powered McDonald's. I forgot where it's at. So that's showing you again that these people are it's going to be a lack of jobs, which is prophesied in the scriptures. So I'm gonna read a little bit of this article. It made me think of a few precepts. Lord willing, this is edifying. It says telecoms giant BT is to shed up to 55,000 jobs by the end of the decade, mostly in the UK as it cuts costs. So if we're in 2023, and literally that'll be 2033. Now you have what's called Agenda 2030, where basically these elites want, you know, the state of technology and the state of the world in a certain direction by that time, by 2030. And that's what you seeing all these things take place now. They got the different mandates and the things with the WHO, where if it was ever another pandemic, they have complete control. They got certain legislation in place where they can bring about. Um, it's not even bringing about their new world order, like the elder Apostle Gabar said. If you are learned, you'll find out that they've been in the new world order since like 1933 or something like that, which I wasn't even aware of that. I have to research that more, but so, but you seeing them really, make major moves. The pride of this devil. They literally telling you these things in your face. Like how Klaus Schwab made the statement, "You will own nothing and be happy." So it says up to a fifth of those cuts will come in customer services, as staff are replaced by technologies, including artificial intelligence. The headcount reduction from the current workforce of 130,000 includes staff and contractors. Whenever you get new technologies, you can get big changes, said Chief Executive Philip Jansen. He said generative AI tools such as ChatGPT, which can write essays, scripts, poems, and solve computer coding in a human-like way, gives us confidence we can go even further. And that's just what they're letting you know. Just imagine what they truly got. And that's the spirit, because I just saying something about this ChatGPT. Earlier today, we was talking about a college professor that basically tried to get his students kicked out using this ChatGPT. I didn't read the article. I just read the headline. So Mr. Johnson said AI would make services faster, better, and more seamless, adding that the changes would not mean customers will feel like they are dealing with robots. We are channel, we are online. We have 450 stores, and that's not changing at all. He said, and made me think about Tom Hanks made a statement. He said he could die and he could live on through his movies, where they can use technology to continue to make movies just because of the AI. And this devil promoting that shit. If you do any research, you'll see how basically Tom Hanks was utilized in a lot of what took place with the pandemic. Remember him and his wife and his family supposed to got sick, and that supposed to made them press for lockdowns and all that. So, or push for, I said press, Salakia. It says we are multi. I read that we are multi-channel. We are online. We have 450 stores, and that's not changing at all. He said there are plenty of opportunities for our customers to deal with people at BT. Plenty of people to speak with. Mr. Johnson added that new technologies drive new jobs. Although BT has said it will have a much smaller workforce by the end of the 2020. So within this decade, they're going to cut their workforce down, and that's just not them. I was hearing my Eve said how Disney basically in Orlando closed. Disney also laid off a lot of people. So you got all these companies restructuring because we're coming into them times. It's beyond birth pains. Well, this is to a degree the birth pains still, because you still got mercy out here. The prophets are still on the street, but when you take the time, all these major companies are laying off. Because they don't need people. Like Amazon. Amazon had one of the biggest workforces in the world, I believe, but now they're laying off, doing majority of the laying off, because they don't really need people to do the work anymore. You got AI. You know. So with that being said, this is all a subtle plan by the devil to bring in his order. This devil basically plots and plans and schemes. When you go into the world, the Salaki, when you go into the word devil, it means deceiver. And who is the devil? This so-called white man, this red Hebrew Edomite. So this is the book of Micah chapter 2 and verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because when the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. Verse 2. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. Who is the people that basically took this land by force and by violence? Who is this? Who is the man that basically oppressed, particular individuals on the planet? Who is the man that claims to be a particular nationality when he does everything contrary to you got Israelis that's supposed to be the people in the scriptures, which are the Israelites, but they're the Israelis. But right now they're banning the Bible. So how are those the people of the book? So, the iniquity or the sin upon sin that they're working, and the evil they're working upon their bed, is this system where they have complete control, through a CHIP or a charagma. Everything will be electronically monitored. And if you buck up to the system, they can ostracize you by cutting you off from the system. Total control. I read that. Yeah. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 141 and verse 9. And it reads, let's start at verse 8. Psalms 141 and 8. But my eyes are unto thee, O power of the Lord, and thee is my trust. Leave not my soul destitute. Keep me from the snares which they have laid for me, and the gins of the workers of iniquity. And who are the workers of iniquity? Again, this red Hebrew Edomite. It tells you in the book of Job, chapter 9, that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. he covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? And that's as a question. It's posing a question for him. Because if this red Hebrew Edomite is not, the wicked, then who is the wicked? You know, who are the people that got embassies all across the world? Who is the people that basically any figure in history they come by and whitewash it so it looks and appears to be someone of their race, and then they call us racist. When you go into the word racist, is basically you for your race. You're supposed to have pride in your race, but it seems like you know Esau Edom is a master manipulator. You know what I mean? You know, you've had these devils literally hide their faces, but wear masks and hoods and burn crosses on Jake's property and hang Jake. And they got the nerve to say that we're racist, though. Keep me from the snares which they have laid for me and the gins of the workers of iniquity. Let the wicked fall into their own nets, whilst that I withal escape. And that's the spirit because it talks about, like when you think about the book of Esther, like how Haman basically tried to go after Mordecai and Israel, but basically Purim, the lot switched and he fell in his own device. He basically built a platform to hang Jake on, but he ended up having his family hang on it. The book of Job, chapter 5. Because at the end of the day, this system that the devil was creating, I love it how the way the elder Yashuamba puts it. He say, this NWO is not a brilliant plan. He said actually it's a very foolish and stupid plan. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna be judged based on this and showing you the power of Yahweh Shem Shah. It ain't even your plan; it's his plan. Because it tells you in the scriptures in the book of Isaiah, chapter 45, the Most High created the darkness and the light. He made good and he create evil. So this is a wicked plan, but it was created by the Most High to serve his purpose. When you read the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, it says, all the Most High created all things, even the wicked for the day of evil, for the day of destruction. This is the book of Job, chapter 5, and I'm going to start at verse 11. To set up or hide those that be low, that those which mourn may be exalted to safety. And who are at the low estate right now? It's you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, West Indians, and Haitians. The true biblical Hebrew Israelites. You're on, in a low place, but the Most High is about to exalt you and put you on high. Because the Most High is about to show his power, just like how he did Pharaoh. When you read the book of Exodus chapter 9, it talks about how the Most High basically put in Pharaoh's heart, basically so he could show his power, to pull him down in front of all the other nations, and that's why when you go into what's her name, Rahab, I can't remember. Let's start with Rahab the harlot. She knew about the fame of Israel because of the fact of the story of the flood. You know, uh, so back in Job 5 and verse 13, no, verse 12, he disappointed the devices of the crafty. So I'm not for sure if that's the same word, but matter of fact, let me get it. The book of Job, chapter 5. The book of Job, chapter 5 and verse 12. It's the Book of Job 5:12.
Strong's H 4284. Nachashava. Nachashava.
And it says,
Second entry. Nachasheveth. Nachasheveth.
so it goes into thought, device, plan, purpose, invention. So that's G48, G, Slovakia, H4284, H4284. So let's see if, well, obviously it's not the same word because this is Greek, but it's mental perception, thought, or evil purpose. So it's the same concept. It's a thought, a plan, and this devil has plotted a plan and set up, a system where he could try to have complete control. With in actuality, it's gonna come to naught. Let me go back into this. Job chapter 5 and verse 12. It says, "He disappointed the devices of the crafty." And who was the crafty? Esau Edom. You know, it tells you how the serpent was more subtle than any beast of any other creature, roughly paraphrased, so that their hands could not perform their enterprise. Verse 13, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong. So the Most High is going to allow this devil to come up with this system because, again, they're laying off all these workers and slowly bringing in AI to man the jobs, and then you'll have people basically that'll need to be supported by the government, but first you'll have to pledge allegiance by, you know, taking that C-hip. You know, that's why Klaus Schwab said you'll own nothing but you'll be happy because most people, are going to accept this because, you know, scriptures say, those that seek to keep their life shall lose it, and those that lose their life for the Son of Man's sake shall find everlasting life. So, we're about to come into a time that we're going to see um, who all truly believes. Um, with that being said, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to God, Loyam, La Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachakadosh B'katham. I say double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone who teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing the faith, pushing Salakia. Well, that just threw me off. That was satanic. Salakia, let me rephrase all this or repeat all this. I'm going to end a lesson, and with that, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to God, Loyam, La Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachakodesh B'katham. I want to say double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone who teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. I want to say shalom to the Akim and the Akwath up there listening and learning. Lord, willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of the other nations, appearing like the other nations, but who subscribe to this truth. To you, I say shalom. So next time I'm able to come with another lesson, I'll say shalom, shalom, and mawaf lababah, shalom.